Ever wonder how misinformation actually makes money? It's not just about clicks. There's a whole hidden economy behind it. A system where, honestly, a lie can be just as profitable as the truth. And it's all powered by one thing, our attention.
And if you want to know how we got here, you really have to start with YouTube. Listen to this quote from author Mark Bergen. He calls it the chief architect of the whole attention economy. And he's right. It's so much more than just a place to watch videos, right? It's a massive financial engine, one that's totally reshaped how we get our information and, well, our misinformation too.
And the scale we're talking about here is just mind-blowing. Get this, in just 1 year, YouTube paid out over $8 billion. And that's just to the music industry. That's a massive, totally legitimate market. But, and this is the big but, that same powerful system has a real dark side. So, okay, let's break down how this whole machine actually works.
It's actually pretty simple when you boil it down. At its core, YouTube's business model is this powerful little triangle, and it's what fuels literally everything we see on the platform. Okay, so you've got three main players in this game. First, there's us, the viewers, right? We're looking for stuff to watch. Then you have the content creators. They're looking for an audience and, a paycheck. And finally, you've got the advertisers. They're the ones with the money trying to get their products in front of us. It's this perfect loop that just feeds itself, and wow, is it effective.
But here's the catch. The thing that makes this system so brilliant is also its biggest weakness. That same loop that supports all our favorite creators, yeah, it can be totally exploited. It's created this kind of gold rush for misinformation, a place where making stuff up can be just as profitable as telling the truth.
So a 2024 study by an organization called Digitally Right in Bangladesh decided to actually dig in and see how bad the problem is. And what they found? It was pretty staggering. They uncovered 700 unique videos that were fact-checked and confirmed to be misinformation, just sitting there, live on the platform, getting views. And it wasn't just one type of thing either. The topics were all over the map.
And when you look at the breakdown, it's pretty revealing. Sure, you had misinformation about religion, sports, you name it. But look at that big slice of the pie, politics. A full quarter of all that false content was political. And this stuff really spikes around big events like elections, when the stakes are at their absolute highest. Okay, so if these videos are thriving, someone's got to be funding them, right? Who's paying for all this? To figure that out, you just have to do one thing: follow the money. Specifically, the ad money.
And no surprise here, right? Just like pretty much every other video on YouTube, the main way they make money is through ads. So that's exactly where the researchers started looking.
What they found was that almost a third of the regular long-form misinformation videos they looked at were running ads. Now, we don't know for sure if the creators were officially in YouTube's partner program, but here's what we do know. YouTube, the company, made money from every single one of those ads. And we're not talking about ads for some obscure fly-by-night companies. The researchers found big, recognizable brands. We're talking the gaming app Hero Wars, PepsiCo's Sting energy drink. Brands you've actually heard of. Which, of course, leads to a huge question. Do these companies even know they're paying to put their ads on misinformation?
Well, the answer to that is, it's complicated. You have to look at it from the advertiser's point of view. The whole system is kind of designed in a way that makes it really, really hard for them to know exactly where their ad money ends up.
Yeah, this quote from a fintech executive really nails it. Brands aren't picking and choosing specific videos to put their ads on. That's not how it works. They're buying access to people, to audiences. They basically tell YouTube, here's my money, go find the right eyeballs, and they trust the algorithm to handle the rest. And that creates this huge blind spot, this lack of transparency that can have some pretty serious consequences.
Sure, YouTube gives brands some safety tools. They can say, hey, don't put my ads on videos about tragedies or sensitive social issues. But even YouTube itself admits these tools aren't 100% perfect. And here's the kicker. There's no button you can just press to block misinformation. For the brands, it's like a constant game of whack-a-mole.
Okay, so if the advertisers are flying blind, what about YouTube? What about their own moderation team? Why aren't they the ones catching these videos and pulling the plug on the ad money?
And this is where you see a huge gap between what they say and what actually happens. Officially, YouTube's policy is to go after misinformation that can cause real-world harm. But what does that even mean? It's pretty vague, right? And the researchers found that because these policies are so fuzzy,
Both the automated systems and the human moderators have a really hard time applying them consistently.
The numbers really speak for themselves here. The research team took all 700 of those fact-checked misinformation videos and reported every single one of them directly to YouTube. They waited 4 months. And how many did YouTube take action on? 25. Out of 700. That's what, less than 4%? It's not great.
I mean, take a look at this. This video made completely false claims about an election official in Bangladesh. That seems like a pretty clear violation of their rules about messing with democratic processes, right? The researchers reported it, and nothing. YouTube took no action, the video just stayed up, and the lie just kept spreading.
And here's the really frustrating part. Even on the rare occasion YouTube does take a video down, the problem isn't solved. The study found that you could find the exact same video untouched on a bunch of other channels. So this isn't about a few slip-ups, it points to a much bigger systemic problem.
So let's zoom out for a second. What's the real price we all pay for a system like this? What are the consequences when misinformation isn't just allowed to exist, but is actually being paid for by this whole attention economy? Well, the damage happens on a lot of different levels. For one, it basically pays people to create more lies. It's a financial incentive. Then you have the advertisers who end up accidentally funding stuff that's completely against their company values. It wrecks our trust in what we see online, and it really hurts the actual legitimate news outlets that are trying to do good work, forcing them to compete for attention and ad money against all this viral garbage. And all of this leads to a really tough fundamental question. When you reward misinformation, even if you don't mean to, you're shaping the world we all live in. You're creating an environment where the most outrageous, the loudest voices are the ones that get amplified and paid. So it makes you wonder, in an economy that's built on nothing but attention, what is the real cost of a lie?